This is Brandy Milford with the Unlimited Business Wisdom Podcast, where business owners, share their wisdom. It's short to the point because we respect people's time and because we know transforming possibility happens super fast and it leads to lasting results. So let's get to it. Question number one. In a few sentences, Brandy, tell me who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Brandy Wilson Edwards, and I am both an attorney and motivational speaker. I am the founder of the Self Love Challenge, and it's my platform that I use to do speaking events. And prior to COVID, I hosted women's retreats and different workshops, and really just my way of helping people be more courageous in their life, show up as the most confident version of themselves, do things that make them happy, all while learning to love themselves while they work on themselves.
Love that. That was so crystal. Are you sure you're not reading off a piece of paper right now?
Hey, I'm looking right at you.
No, I'm just teasing you. That was great. I love that.
Thank
Well
you.
said and very crystal clear. That's one of the things that I really, really enjoy about you. Question number two. Brandy, I'm dying to know this from you. What is the best thing about being in business?
The best thing about being in business for me, there's many different things, but really it's my ability to help positively impact the lives of others and really not just inspire people, but empower people to make some type of change, to be really courageous in their life in giving speaking events or in giving presentations at a speaking event. I want to do more than just inspire someone for an hour. I want them to leave and feel like they can do something and that they will do something that makes a change in their life.
Love that. So what I heard, just to paraphrase a little bit, is it's definitely about the experience and it's about empowerment as well. Is that's what I'm really the impact, the empowerment. It's really
Yes,
about
the
empowering.
impact is the best part. Just being able to impact people.
Love that. There's no way that I could love that more. Question number three. This is one of my favorites. We hear from other business owners, they're getting so much business right now that the chaos is causing overwhelm. If you'd be willing to share your thoughts on that, Brandy.
Well, I think being able to get so much business that you're overwhelmed is a blessing. And so it's all about perspective. So people should be glad that they have that business coming in. And I'm in a unique space where I'm building my business and I'm ready for those opportunities to completely overwhelm me. And I'm a one-woman show. So I definitely understand the stress that can come along with trying to figure things out as you go. But really, business is a blessing, especially being busy and blessed.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. Question number four. What other successful business owners like yourself, of course, should be on the Unlimited Wisdom podcast?
I have two friends that went into business together, and they are called the Plant Chicks, Marcia and Jackie. I actually use them to go from being a longtime vegetarian to going completely plant-based. And they have programs specifically for women, but they are hilarious and very educated and bring so much wisdom into that space for people that are plant curious and making that lifestyle change.
Love that. That's a great space. I'm learning more and more about that. So I love hearing you bring that up because I have a few friends and I've gotten a little bit of information, but I definitely need to learn more. So that's great. Thank you
Yes.
for sharing. Let's get to the crux of this. So, what piece of wisdom, Brandy, would you share with other business owners?
The piece of wisdom that I would share with business owners is to really prioritize their happiness and make their happiness a priority and not an option. Because when you are happier in your life, it has a ripple effect in other areas of your life, whether it's becoming happier personally or professionally. It just has a ripple effect. And to become happier in your life, I have 5 steps. There's a lot of different things that people can do to work on their happiness, do things that really bring joy to their life and light their soul on fire. But for me, it starts with 5 steps, which is desiring change, uh, seeking clarity, practicing courage, building confidence, and then celebrating yourself. And to start with the first component of desiring change, I think that's important for happiness because so many people, especially business owners, you need to embrace change. You need to learn how to adapt to not just survive, but thrive. But for me, I think happiness is really important to it's it's important to desire change, to want more, to seek more, and to make that happen. And really becoming self-aware and reflecting, where am I unhappy? What in my life needs to change so that I can live, you know, create a life I love, live a life that I love. And so that's really my best piece of advice, is to follow your happiness. And there's a variety of different ways that you can do that, but it starts with desiring change.
I love that. And I love that you came with 5 steps too. So that's, I mean, every time I have the opportunity to connect with you, you're always dropping value. So appreciate that. What I love what you said about the change. And I think this is a really important factor. Often people are afraid of change, right? Or they fear change, and we get in our comfort zones. I've found that a lot of people understand their discontent, right? Going back to your first step, their discontent. When you know what you don't want, then isn't it true you know what you do want then? Have you found that as well in your walk, in your experience?
I think some people do intuitively, but they're not always listening to their intuition, and they're focusing on what other people are doing or not doing, or what other people are telling them that they should do and what they shouldn't do. And so it really comes back to listening to your intuition and doing more of what your soul is calling you to do, whether it's to start doing something or to stop doing something. And to kind of go back to the self-love aspect, I treat it as a lifestyle, and it's about making empowering choices over disempowering choices. And so when it comes to change, think about, what can I stop doing that doesn't serve me or never did? And what can I start doing that will empower me to be the best version of myself, or best version of myself? Because we're all a work in progress in business and in our personal lives as well.
You mean we're not all just perfect, Brandy?
I know we're so imperfect, and it's hard to embrace our flaws and our shortcomings. But when we can have grace and compassion for ourselves, it just makes life so much easier, and actually allows us to extend that more freely to other people.
I love that. I love this. All this about empowerment. I think the happiness and joy is so important. Some of us do love our jobs or positions or as entrepreneurs, and some of us don't love every aspect of it. But joy and happiness really is the crux of everything that drives us, isn't it?
Absolutely. And for your listeners, to the extent there's something in their business that they're not enjoying, and that's not what they're great at or what they love, I like to say, delegate to elevate. See what you can delegate to someone else to do what does not bring you joy, so that you can really hone in and develop your secret sauce, and put your time and energy into that, and let other people do things, because we can't do things alone, and we don't have to do everything alone, but you have to delegate in order to elevate in your life and in
Love it.
business.
Delegate to elevate. Dig it. Totally dig it. Would you be kind enough, because oftentimes people zip through these and sometimes even the listeners binge through these. Would you be kind enough to go through those 5 steps one more time? I believe repetition is the mother of skill, right?
Absolutely. So, in order to take steps to really pursue and follow your happiness, you have to first start with desiring change. And that means more than embracing change. You must desire it. So that's really going to help you. And then, two, the second step is to seek clarity around that change. And that's where you do self inquiry. You ask yourself, why is it that I want to change? Why do I want to start doing this? Why do I want to stop doing this? And just keep asking yourself over and over, why, to help you get that clarity. And then the third step is to practice courage. Because if you're going to get anywhere in life and become more fulfilled and become happier, you have to be courageous. Because if you're staying in your comfort zone, you're going to feel stuck. You're going to feel like you're going through the motions. You're not going to discover or maximize your potential personally or professionally if you're not being courageous and you're just doing what feels comfortable. And this is where a lot of people hold themselves back. They get stuck on fear. And so, your listeners must take action despite fear. It's not about being fearless, but it's about taking action despite that fear. And when you do that, that really leads you to the fourth step, which is building your confidence. Because the more that you can get out of your comfort zone and the more that you become courageous, the more it really boosts your confidence. And confidence is a choice. You have to believe in yourself. And if you can doubt yourself and you can have negative thoughts, well, then you can also choose to believe in yourself, and you can choose to have positive thoughts. And then the fifth step, which is really important, is to celebrate yourself. practice celebrating yourself and your achievements and your accomplishments, but not just once you achieve or obtain the goal that you're working towards, but celebrate yourself along the way. It's really easy to think I'll feel happier when, or I'll feel accomplished or successful when I do this big audacious thing, rather than really practicing gratitude for all of the steps that you're taking, and celebrating yourself every single step, and becoming your own cheerleader. We have that inner critic that will keep us small, but be your own cheerleader instead of waiting for that from other people. Build yourself up and celebrate yourself.
I love it. I love all of those steps. They're really powerful, and there's a lot of depth in there. I know I imagine you probably do speak on every single one of those
Yes.
often. There's so much depth in there in those every single one of those steps. I love 4 and 5 personally. The courageousness so important. I think a lot of people talk and how that ties into celebration and intrinsic motivation is what I
Mm-hmm.
hear you sharing. Which so powerful, just really needed, not just in the entrepreneurial space but everywhere really. How they lead to joy and happiness. The courageousness. I'm curious. We have just a few more moments. I'm really curious about your input, your thoughts here. I think a lot of times we hear take massive action, take massive action, take massive action. Um, what have you found in your walking through through your experiences? Is it massive action? Is it small wins? Is it somewhere in between? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, first, for me, it really starts in believing in myself and choosing myself, not waiting to be chosen. And so, for example, I knew that I wanted to start speaking. And so, rather than soliciting other people to be on their stages, I created my own event and I marketed it and I got people there and celebrated myself along the way during that process. And so, really just choosing myself and taking courageous action over and over and over again. Because if you can get out of your comfort zone a little bit, and then do that over and over again, the more that you expand your comfort zone and the more that you can really challenge yourself to get completely out of it, even when you experience imposter syndrome or doubt yourself or have these fears. It's just really small actions over and over again, but it really starts with believing in yourself and choosing yourself, knowing that you are worth it, knowing that you deserve it, and saying, why not me? If someone else can do it, why not me? And embracing our uniqueness, because we're all different and we're not for everyone and everyone isn't for us, and being okay with that and accepting that that is what is, and taking action.
Love it. Brandy, dropping it down, dropping it down. This is great. I want it. I'd like to, because I know we can talk business, and I have had the opportunity to talk business with you in some rooms. I'm grateful for that, and I love what you share. Let's switch gears for just a moment. I'm really interested to know what is the most fun vacation you've ever had, Brandy?
Going to New York City. I am from Dallas, Texas, and actually grew up in really small towns growing up. And New York City was just something that a place that I always wanted to visit. And I actually went the first 2 times by myself, in the middle of this epic self discovery journey, this process that I was going through. And I went to a women's retreat. And to go to New York by myself was very bold and it took a lot of bravery, but it was such an empowering experience to go on a solo trip by myself and do the retreat and then also do the sightseeing, Broadway. There's just so much energy and creativity in that city that it really just lights my soul on fire. So I love going to New York.
I love it. Yeah, that's not a tiny city, especially coming from
Absolutely not. And
Broadway.
it's amazing. There's always something to do and so many places to go, and just interesting people to meet and talk to.
I love it. I love it. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you for being on, Brandy. I really appreciate the investment of your time and just showing up and being here. Again, you always drop so much value every time I've ever seen it. I've had the opportunity to be on stage with you or just share a room with you. It's fantastic. When someone watches this or they listen to this and they're like, wow, that's some powerful stuff. I really want to dive in there a little bit. How do I reach out to her? What's the website or social media, or how does someone reach out to you, Brandy?
The best way to reach out would just be to email me directly, which is the self love challenge at gmail.com. The Self-Love Challenge is also my Instagram, and for anyone on Clubhouse, I'm at Brandy Edwards, and that's Brandy with the Y. But emailing me would be the best way for anyone to book me for a potential speaking opportunity or work with me individually if they need a boost of encouragement to really be courageous and get some clarity in their life.
I love it. Be courageous. Reach out. Ask a question. Get contacted, right? Get connected. I love it. Brandy, thank you so much. This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Business Wisdom Podcast, where business owners making 5, 6, 8, 12, 15 figures. It's not really all about the money. It's about sharing their wisdom globally and creating impact. Thanks for joining us.